Hi, I'm Mark Walker and I'm the editorial director at the FinTech Times. We're here at Seamless Middle East in Dubai and we're here at Seamless TV. Maybe you could introduce yourself for me, please.
My name is Walid Ghobrial. I am the Regional Vice President for Idemia for the Middle East and Africa. I'm very pleased to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start maybe with a little bit of a background. Give us some history on the company, how it was formed and what you're looking to achieve.
Idemia goes back in years, probably around 50 years maybe, when it started with the fingerprint identification system. Idemia today is a world leader in identity with all the platforms and applications that it provides. We see it in the banking sector, we see it in the border control, we see it in the secure documents. So Idemia is in the heart of identity, and we are a world leader in this, and we serve many customers and government around the world. So we are pleased to be here in Seamless in Dubai. We recently were in Seamless in Saudi, but we are very pleased also to continue our presence in Seamless for the future. Next one in Cairo, and we are happy to continue.
Wonderful, thank you. So obviously we're here at a fintech and retail event. What predominantly is the interest of fingerprint identity within a financial context?
Identity is in the heart of all these applications. So any fintech application or transaction application, eKYC, rely on biometrics as the core component for identity and security. It's one of the main layers actually. So Idemia being the world leader in such a domain and digital identity with the fingerprint, with the facial recognitions and iris, regardless of the application, I think Idemia is in the heart of the identity. So identifying your customers, and that will not just provide the services, also eliminate fraud, because fraud plays a big part of the industry that we're in. To eliminate fraud and to mitigate all this fraud trials and the consistent of the fraud in this environment is definitely requires a very sophisticated algorithm to try to detect this based on identity and biometrics.
And I guess, as you say, fraud is probably one of the most compelling reasons at the moment, because what's happened with fintech in an effect to try and make things easier and, dare I say it, more seamless from a payment perspective, there was originally some compromises maybe made on identity. And do you see that's where biometrics has now stepped in to plug that gap?
Absolutely. I mean, identity theft is really a big threat here. And if you don't have a system that really can prevent or mitigate or reduce this, we will have a real problem in this industry. So thanks to the biometrics and the advancement in the biometric algorithm that can identify people using technology with like liveness detection, that can actually detect the person, and from there you can take this biometrics and try to match it with the root of trust, where you can identify the person, positively identify and provide the service from there. This is the heart of what we're trying to do here.
And do you see an interesting difference in the way that, say, a traditional bank is employing your technology or a fintech? Is a bank more resistant to using biometrics, or do you think we're both fintech and traditional banks are on the same point now?
I think it's the way forward. I don't think there is a resistance anymore, because this is the direction that everybody is going. I think every bank is trying to see how they can really secure their environment, their platform, provide the service in a secure manner, and really protect this against identity theft, because identity theft is really a big threat to such applications. So I don't see resistance, but I see a lot of engaging everybody to make sure that they're getting the right platform that satisfy the security, that satisfy the usability as well, to be usable, that satisfy the trust, because the trust is on both sides. The trust from the bank that they are really getting the right information, they're reducing the fraud, and trust from the user that really their information is well stored, their biometrics is well stored and matched against a root of trust, which is backed by a governmental, usually it's a governmental root of trust.
And I think, obviously thinking about the MENA region as a whole, it's a beautifully diverse area with many differences in different regions, from, say, Cairo to Saudi to the UAE. How does the treatment of identity change in those places? Do you have to adapt?
I think the direction is the same. Everybody wants to really use biometrics and identity, protect the identity, reduce identity fraud. So the direction is the same. I think there is many countries are way advanced. They have tried this and they've been relying on biometrics since a long time. Now they are implementing in an environment like banking. and I think others are catching up and they're trying to build it. I think we are in a very exciting region. I'm very excited to be in this region because really there is a lot of projects, there are a lot of things that we can apply here, and Idemia really can help countries and governments and banks, and they're really using the biometrics infrastructure that Idemia provides, the security that Idemia provides. These algorithm is tested against all sorts of tests using international standards like the NIST, for example, and Idemia is always ahead on the curve with that. So I'm very excited to be part of the Idemia and very excited to be part of this region to provide such services.
Yeah. You are right, it's a very exciting region. On that same sort of area, obviously regulation comes a big part within financial services, and obviously the region is very fragmented with many different regulators in different areas. Do you see a different way that regulators are adopting identity and biometrics?
I think this is a very good question because identity is a key. When you rely on biometrics here, you're going to rely on giving the person the identity, the digital identity that he actually deal with government and banks and all these services that's provided. I think we have many standards around the world. We have local standards in every country that they have their local. And the exciting thing is that it's shaping. So we don't have one standard, but I think international companies like Idemia, where actually we comply with all these standards that in Europe, in the US, and also the local one. So we tailor to the local environment, but we also respect the international standards as well.
Yeah. So effectively, there's sort of almost like a common understanding around everyone, but then specific detail that's needed in each area.
Yeah. Each country will have its own specifics because the nature of one country is definitely different than the other country, and the way they implement and the way the security agencies operate is a bit different, but they all have the same goal. They all have the same mandate, is to secure the identity. So the mandate is the same. It's just the way to get there and the way to have flexible company like Idemia to work locally, but it's an international company that abide with the international rules and regulations as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So obviously that's what's going on at the moment. Where do you think the future is for biometrics? Do you think we are moving into a more of a realm when it comes to payments of paying with identity? So it's about using your identity to pay rather than a device, a card? What do you think is on the horizon?
I think it's getting simplified. Every going forward is getting simplified. I think more and more you will rely on your biometric itself. Your face, your finger will be probably your token that you will present. It's happening. It's actually we are in the middle. I see AI playing a big role here also to improve the algorithm, to improve also the way we store data and protect data, the way to detect patterns of fraud, because AI can really help us with mass type of data. So I think things are going forward. It's going to be faster. It's going to be very effective. So I think more and more we improve. On the other side, also on the fraud side, they will probably use AI to try to penetrate. So it's actually going on competition here. But I think the systems going forward is going to be easier. We already see it. COVID was a big player into this, especially in this region. In many countries that I've seen during COVID that they have not tried these online applications with your facial recognition. They have tried it during COVID. It worked. It did the purpose. They managed to operate. Now it's going forward. So I think we are in a very exciting time, mainly in this region.
And I think you're right with the whole the pandemic and everything. It gave everybody no option but to implement some new digital technologies.
Sure.
And that really gave a catalyst for everything else.
Absolutely.
From your global perspective, did you see that happening everywhere? And just generally everything was improving and used more?
It is happening everywhere, for sure. I mean, even I was recently in the US. In the US, for example, when you do the payment, it was very rare when you present contactless. It was always you have to stick your card. Recently, it's there. I see in different directions. Everybody is trying to improve, to make it easy, to make it fast, to make it secure. So there is actually opportunities for companies to provide services, to provide products, to provide devices that will really go forward with this direction.
Fantastic. And so just trying to think a little bit into the future, a bit of a prediction time. What do you think when we sit down in Dubai next year, 2024, what do you think we're going to be thinking is the next trend at that point?
I think AI will definitely be a big part of what it is already there. I think from a security point of view, this will be a lot of application to make sure that we track the patterns of fraud patterns. there is many products will use AI in a very effective way and to try to determine and improve algorithm of matching and verification. So I think the direction is going. I think it's, I cannot imagine what's going to be next year, but I probably see a lot of products that will be improved, a lot of flexibilities into this, a lot of security as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me at Seamless TV, powered by the FinTech Times.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.